okay over here. Looks very nice. Do it vertically, come down, and actually just use the rubber.
There's a big difference.
And you can use it quite fast. But as I told you, it's a wise idea to use it exactly in the area where the tape gets cylinder. So you see over here, there's a dark line, and just use the squeegee over here. Don't use it over there, because then you just squeeze the air pockets in here. But if you use the squeegee over here, you can really avoid any air entrapment. So normally you can do it like this. One hand on the cylinder to turn it, the other hand the squeegee. There are some machines where you can use a pedal, and when you use the pedal, the machine is turning itself, so it doesn't matter, and you don't need the second hand. But it's a good idea to have one hand over here and use in the other hand the squeegee. Then the knife, you can cut both tapes at the same time. And it's a good idea to not use a 90 degrees angle, slightly shorten the upper layer of the tape. So use an angle which is something like that and not something like that. So this will, this will shorten the upper layer and prevent any overlapping of the final tape.
What if it was a sleeve?
If it was a sleeve, you could mount, or you could slit on a sleeve, but then you have many scratches. The best solution, which I haven't seen in the market so far, but the best solution is to use a ruler made of metal to lay it under the tape, and then use the knife just on top of the ruler, so on steel, and to prevent any scratches on the sleeve. But this is quite unusual. Winter. Something like that. So there are rulers in the market, you lay just on top of the sleeve, then you mount from both sides the tape, use the knife just in this straight line, remove this, and you will get no hurts to the under layer, the first layer. Then you can use the squeegee again, and you see my angle wasn't steep enough, so it's still a little bit overlaying. So it would be better to use a more straight angle. And if you have a problem with that, you can use your fingernail, pressing the tape to each other. In here it's a little bit easier because we have a deep line where we can put in the tape, but in the real world it's not like that. Okay, this was the other layer. Okay. It's quite okay. Then remove the liner. One thing I forgot to do, I'm very bad today, I didn't clean the steel surface, or the steel surface, so of course I should have done that first. Then we have this liner, and if we are going to just slit it in half. If you like to position the plate, you can use that trick which we just talked about, and use these liners.
Steelmaster?
I think this is Steelmaster LT, so it's not necessary. Just to show you, I just prepared it over here. Now we have to go for the plate. So the reason for the liner is that you easily can move the plate right now. Otherwise the plate would stick, but right now you can really move it. Look for this spot over here. Once you got the spot, probably like this. Uh-oh. Like this. Then you have more or less the final position. Then you can start to use the rubber roller. Just do it like this and control that everything is all set. It's not bad. Then you can remove the first liner. And again, now it's depending on the machine you have. If you don't have a pedal to turn the cylinder, just keep just bring the plate in a vertical position so that the plate gets no contact to the tape. Just let it hang vertically. Then take one hand on the cylinder to turn it, and for the other hand the rubber roller. And then you can use the rubber roller right in the area where the tape gets contact with the plate. In this case, you will really avoid any contact or any air entrapment. So I just mount half of the plate. The rest, normally you would have mounted all the plate using the rubber roller. Just to show you the difference, I will mount the rest by using just my hand. Normally you should take off the ring because it can hurt the image. But even in using high pressure, you see there's a lot of air entrapment over here, whereas nearly no air entrapment over here. See this huge difference? And if I would use the rubber roller right like over here, it seems a little bit better, but you still have the air entrapment because it's mounted by hand. So we started using German-made rubber rollers, being very strong, very hard. And after that we thought it's not a good idea because we can't reach exactly these areas lying in between the printed image areas. And then we used very, very soft rubber rollers, and they were too soft to get a good pressure. And we think this rubber roller is really perfect because it's not too soft, it's not too stiff, so you can reach most of the parts. Of course there will be some parts of the plate left which are not able to reach, but yeah, we think that's a good compromise. It's very easy to demount the plate, just demount it like this without any problem. Now we come to the gap of the tape. When you demount it straight like this, you see the tape starts to lift because it's a very very difficult demand, very difficult situation for the tape. To avoid something like this, the best idea is demount the plate just up to the edge and then start the demounting from the other side and remove it. If you don't want to do that, just in case you're going to reuse the tape. Of course, we do not promote our tapes to be reduced because our turnover will be decreased, but some customers ask for that. Another trick to do is just do, in this case, the demounting like that, and yeah, now the tape is already lifted, but you can reduce the problem in demounting it at a slight angle. And the rubber roller is good for another thing, because right now we lifted it in small areas, the tape. You can use the rubber roller just for pressing it down, and you have the perfect mount again. Of course, the rubber roller shouldn't be very dirty. Right now it's quite a lot of dirt.
You could use a liner.
We could use also the liner to do that. It's even better. Yeah. Okay, now demount the tape. Do it slowly at a small angle, and when you come to the end, you can also do it like that, and don't do it like that because otherwise you might create some delamination. So our foam is very stable in comparison to other tapes, and our adhesive is a very good anchorage in comparison to Lohmann and 3M tapes. But even with our tapes, if you go for a long print job, if it's mounted for weeks, then you might get the problem, and therefore do the demounting quite slowly. Just to give you the right direction. One trick to do a good mounting job is to start from one side and mounting it very at this line. If you do that, you should be able to mount the tape all around the cylinder without any system.
Quite in parallel.
Quite in parallel without any wrinkles. Okay. Otherwise, if you don't do that, if you start somewhere without the line, it's very likely that you do the mounting was too good, like that, for example, and even if the start would be okay, you're very likely that you might get, after half a turn, that you might get a problem. The other way, so one trick is to use the line, and the other trick is to hold the tape in a shape like this, and then without any pressure, mount it like this. And then it's very likely that you will be able to mount the tape all around the cylinder without any wrinkles. But in general, it's difficult to handle large pieces of tape in a horizontal way. Our experience is that there are more problems when the tape is mounted horizontal than if it's mounted vertical.
And I think,
as you see, they're quite old. They are made in 2002, so they are. As you see, they're quite old. They are made in, so they are more or less 3 years old, and you can see there's a strong curl, so they are really stiff, and they are really difficult to mount in that direction. So they immediately would like to come back. So they have a large tendency for edge lifting. And another reason for the edge lifting is that they are the printed image is up to the very edge. There's no printed area like on all our other plates. Like this plate, for example, you have a very thin non-printing area over here, so the tendency for plate lift is much, much smaller than these plates. So these plates are really critical. And we are going to do a really critical test right now. We will mount one plate just like that, and we will mount another plate in using the magic marker. So at first we are going to clean the plates.
No, they are cleaned.
They are cleaned.
I have all 4 cleaned.
You have cleaned them. Okay, so the first plate we will mount just in the way we learned today. Where's my rubber roller? Just mount it like that. And the second plate, we have the leading and the trailing edge, and there we use this magic marker, the leading and the trailing edge like that. And then it really does not matter if you wait until it's evaporated. So we did a test in using it immediately, and we did other tests in waiting for half an hour, and we got always the same result. So it doesn't really matter how long you wait for evaporation. And then we do the same. We mount it starting from the middle. One side first. Oh gosh. There was no tape. Do it like that, it's better. We give a good pressure to both sides, as we did it for the other plate. And we will look for the result tomorrow. So this is Steelmaster thin plate, so the thin plate Tesa on both sides. The edges of the plate and do a good mounting and everything we talked about yesterday. And after that you can recommend the